Welcome to Nimasa this week. My name is Cordelia Obe. Yes, finally it has come and it has gone. We shared some of the high points with you last week, talking about the Nautical Night of Excellence put together by Nimasa to appreciate our stakeholders, staff, and generally everybody that had something to do with the maritime sector. It was a beautiful time and we did have a lot of fun. I'll still share some bits of it with you today. But before then, did you know that Nimasa just got an award? Yes, it did. Got an award as the best federal government agency 2018. We'll tell you more about that as we progress. And also, something did happen. This time, it had something to do with the legal profession. And Nimasa putting things together, working with the legal arm to find out how things can be done to make the judiciary serve not just the maritime sector, but everybody better. Welcome. I'm Cordelia Obe, and this is Nimasa This Week.
Every great nation is also a great shipping country. Every great shipping country is a great nation.
Maritime in Nigeria is growing. So you need to be informed about the work of the regulatory body of the Nigerian maritime industry.
My name is Dakuku Peterside. I bet you're going to find out that it's a time well spent.
For news, views, and reviews, join us every week on this station on Nimasa This Week.
The Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies in Nigeria joined hands with Nimasa to put something together for the judicial sector. I'm talking about the 8th Strategic Admiralty Law Seminar. It was a time to really put heads together to find out ways of making things move faster, not just for the maritime sector, maybe even for you.
In line with its mandate of promoting the development of shipping and building capacity in the maritime sector, Nimasa instituted the Strategic Admiralty Law Seminar for judges, with the initial target being judges of the Federal High Court, who by provision of Section 251 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria of 1999 as amended, are vested with exclusive jurisdiction over admiralty matters. This scope subsequently expanded to include justices of the Court of Appeal and the State High Court judges of the littoral states, mindful also of their strategic roles in the dispensation of justice. The theme for this year is strengthening Nigeria's admiralty regime through effective implementation of international maritime and labor instruments. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, urged the Nigerian judicial system to ensure efficiency and timeliness in the dispensation of justice in the maritime-related cases, as it will boost stakeholders' and investors' confidence in the system. Nimasa has already ratified 40 conventions of the International Maritime Organization, IMO, and the International Labour Organization, ILO, on the maritime safety, maritime labour, and maritime environment management, domesticating 19 of these conventions either by adoption, regulations, or by incorporation under the Merchant Shipping Act of 2007.
I do remember that the current Nimasa management launched a maritime forecast to help those who want to invest in the maritime sector. At least you look at it to know what could happen between now and then it all depends. You know what the forecast will do, generally looking at the environment, telling you what could happen between a particular period to the next. Now, the 2019-2020 Maritime Forecast will be unveiled come Tuesday, 29th January, and it's going to be at Eco Hotel. This is a very crucial setting because it's very relevant for investors in that sector to know what that particular year in focus will be like.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, has taken the lead as the maritime sector regulator to provide a guide to investment in the sector for 2018 to 2019. The forecast emanated from fact-based analysis of global trends and domestic government policies. As Nigerians await the unveiling of the 2019-2020 edition of the forecast, the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, noted that the agency is committed to continuously providing verifiable data to enhance industry growth. This much he said during the mid-year review of the 2019 industry forecasts.
We owe ourselves the responsibility of making sure that this industry thrives and that Nigerians optimize benefits from activities in the maritime sector and specifically in shipping. There are many persons who are involved in the industry. There are dock workers, there are seafarers, there are maritime lawyers, finance institutions. Engagements are yielding results, they are yielding fruits. And very soon these things will begin to manifest.
The 2019-2020 forecast is expected to address critical macroeconomic outlooks such as general global economic conditions, developments in the global oil market, international developments, availability of and access to foreign exchange, and a review of developments in the Nigerian maritime sector.
This will give us access to the entire stakeholder group with a view to being able to get data. Because it's no use trying to do forecasts when you don't have a complete set of data.
We are looking at the forecast for 2019, which we hope to unveil early enough to drive the investment in the sector.
The maritime industry has a major role to play within the context of the international trade and national trade for Nigeria.
This is Nimasa this week. Thank you very much for watching. Now, for every business, research is very, very key, not just for business, even for our day-to-day lives. Having proper research carried out before you do anything is very, very important. And to aid your research, you would need data, and managing the data is another thing entirely. Now, Nimasa has something to do with managing data, because it's very important to know what's happening in that sector and to have proper access to it. And so this segment, where we usually have a chat with somebody at Nimasa, we'll be speaking with the head Department of Planning, Research and Data Management Services of Nimasa, talking about Mrs. Ronke Thomas. Amongst other things, we'll also be asking her about the maritime forecast for 2019 to 2020, the event that will be coming up for 2019.
The place of planning in the maritime sector is very strategic, because it's when you plan, you can achieve certain objectives you want to achieve in the maritime sector. Like the maritime sector in Nigeria, we're particular about grain tonnage, we're particular about capacity building, we're particular about research and development, we're particular about encouraging indigenous participation. We're also to encourage cadets to go for sea-time training and even to pursue a career in the maritime industry. We're aware that a lot of the seafarers are aging, especially the old captains. So we came up with this scheme in Nimasa, the NSDP program, that's the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, which is encouraging a lot of young people to pursue a career in shipping. We can see what's happening in the Philippines and Greece, where they have a lot of seafarers. So planning enables the maritime industry monitor certain trends. You know, it enables us benchmark ourselves against other maritime administrations all over the world. The current administration is very passionate about research. What we intend doing is we intend collaborating with certain local and international bodies on research. Many of our officers, we intend equipping them to know what to do where research is concerned. Last year or so, we actually reached out to NISA in Ibadan. That's the Nigerian Institute of Social and Economic Research, so that we could seek areas which we could collaborate with them. The research function in the agency is one which we intend putting at the front burner this year, 2019, in the agency. As I said, we intend equipping our officers so that they will know what to do in line with the global best practice. The Director General, when we realized this last year, had to write a letter to the Statistician General of the Federation for inclusion of data of the maritime sector in the GDP. What we're doing now is that we're sending certain officers to Abuja to find out how we will meet with them to escalate this further. With this collaboration with the MBS, it is hoped that at least figures pertaining to the maritime sector will be captured for the country. Nimasa is investing much in the maritime forecast for Nigeria because we've realized that the investors need to plan. So this forecast provides an avenue for them to plan. It's also a way for people to be able to assess the growth. It's also to showcase key issues emerging and inherent within the maritime sector. We do, definitely we do. It's something that's on the front burner. When we were doing these forecasts, we had that problem. A lot of our sister agencies, the Nigerian Shippers Council, even NPA, Nigerian Ports Authority, they were complaining of the unavailability of data, especially as it pertains to the maritime sector. So we in Nimasa just knew that we just had to quickly fast track the issue of the data bank. And it is hoped by this year, at least, the Nigerian Maritime Data Bank will take off. At least when this data... Last year, this issue came up, and we realized that there was a need for Nimasa to establish a museum. I'm sure you are aware that there's one in the UK in Greenwich, which houses a lot of old artifacts in the maritime industry, especially in the UK and in Europe. So we just felt that as far as Nigeria is concerned, who else should give the country a maritime museum, if not the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency?
Now, the management of Nimasa is reassuring Nigerians that they will redouble their efforts at making sure that the maritime sector of the country is very productive, safe, and one we all can be very proud of. And the DG said this much when he received an award, the Daily Independent Award for the Federal Government Agency of the Year 2018. The event took place recently, and we were there to represent you. Enjoy scenes from that.
It's still the season of recognitions for individuals and corporate agencies that have excelled during the year 2018. The award night, organized by daily independent newspapers, saw the creme de la creme of the society gather to celebrate organizations and individuals who have excelled. When it was time for the federal government's agency of the year to be announced, the result wasn't a surprise.
Ladies and gentlemen, the award goes to the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa.
The Managing Director, Editor-in-Chief of Independent Newspapers Limited, Mr. Ade Ogidon, said Nimasa had maintained a high level of transparency, particularly in financial matters. Ogidon said, and I quote, "Before, the agency cut the figure of an organization that was riddled with corruption and all kinds of underhand practices. But the recent report of a huge and noticeable increase in revenue generation from Nimasa is a big testimony of its unalloyed commitment to playing a prominent role in the overall development of the country." End of quote. Highlighting some of the reasons the agency was selected for the award, Ogidon noted that the significant contribution of Nimasa to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the federal government, its quests for excellence through capacity building and promotion of staff, and automation of processes in the agency, among others.
At the beginning of the 2016, the agency decided to refocus her attentions on the issue of rebranding. This rebranding work in a long way. In those days, people doesn't want to hear about Nimasa because of the associated negative stories that people used to hear. Today, you can see the caliber of the people that come and sit down to celebrate the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. This thing is awesome. As far as the agency is concerned, we achieve a lot towards the internal stakeholders. Today, when you meet an average staff of the agency, you may not have any cause to hear a complaint from such staffs. We are now refocusing our attentions to the capacity development external. We want to see ourselves going back to the category C of the International Maritime Organizations towards the end of the year, because we are going for election. This is an IMO election year.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are Nimasa. New face, rejuvenated service. Nimasa, changing the tides in your favor.
All right, almost time to go. I'll be leaving, but no, you don't go yet, because I still have something more to share with you. At the beginning of the program, I did promise that I'll be bringing some more highlights from the award ceremony, the Nautical Night of Excellence from Nimasa. It happened at the Expo Center of Eco Hotel, and it was a grand event. It was beautiful. I had a lot of fun, and you can have a taste of it as we bring you some sights, some sounds, and maybe some chats we had with some other people from that event. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care of yourselves. Remember, elections are around the corner. Please, let's make sure everything would pan out peacefully. My name is Cordelia Obe. Bye-bye.
You made the crippled man to walk. You are the lily of Galilee. You make impossible possible. Grama kruge mama. Unazinu no mukane kogyo. Makana shani tima. One more time if you believe, let me see what those lines are here now. Sing it la la la. Lord, you are the most. Oh, you're the most. Hallowed be the name. Hallowed be the name. Lord, you are the most. Lord, you are the most. Hallowed be the name.
An organization like Nimasa, to recognize everyone and their efforts, it's something that you can't really speak, it's something you speak very highly of, basically. It's an amazing thing. My company brought in the largest tanker, so the chairman of my company is being given an award because of that. You know, MT Ultimate is the tanker that was brought in, 500,000 barrels, and it's the largest tanker of its size bearing a Nigerian flag. So for Nimasa to recognize the efforts of entrepreneurs, the efforts of people in the industry, it's amazing, and it gives people the zeal to want to continue and do more. Today,
today, yeah, yeah. My bangalana, my checking all the bells, my mansion on yeah, yeah. My bangalana, my checking all the, my mansion on yeah, yeah. Girl, it's up to you. I pray you do. Yeah. Go tell your mama, say that me they come for you.
I thank them for remembering my son. Although he did a lot, and he has done the work God asked him to do, which he has done and gone like that. I thank the Almighty God for the work he has given him to do. And the Nimasa to remember him, I thank them also. May God bless them. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I can't forget him. He's the only son I have. I know God is going to comfort me. He left with me with 3 children, and I pray God should help me to take care of them.
It's good to celebrate ourselves, and particularly when people have done well and they have been recognized. And of course, based on that recognition, they've been rewarded through this kind of award. It's a way of saying thank you, and that hope you're going to do more. And of course, it's an encouragement to other workers who will now have that sense of reward awaiting them. So it's good, and it's an impetus to do more, because the reward for hard work is more work. So those already recognized will do more, and those not recognized will work harder to ensure that they are recognized.